day after Christmas, or Cripsmas as I like to call it. You know what I'm saying? How did everyone here enjoy their holiday? All my hosts.
I had a good one. It was just me. I didn't go home this year because, trying to not spread COVID anywhere. It was good. It was very chill. Miracle, how was your holiday?
It was the same. My family, like everyone's essential working, so people were working. So I was at the house by myself, caught up on some work. I'm going to stop one of these days. I promise I will take a break. Just caught up on some work and some rest. That's how it was chill. It was like perfect. And ordered some Chinese takeout at the end. So
you should.
And made it work.
I ordered some owls chicken, you know what I'm saying? So we was out here eating soul food, you feel me? But speaking of soul food, we have an amazing lineup for you today. That wasn't planned. That just kind of came out. You see, I'm a rapper. I be freestyling with it. But so we are actually going to start with a very, very familiar face. I think this person has been to every single Next Level Slam at this point. Miss Monroe, is that true? Have you been to every single one, or am I capping right now? Can we pull Miss Monroe up to the screen?
Hello.
Am I capping?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I've been to every one except for maybe one.
Type shit. So you just been coming through, killing shit, repping from Philly. You know what I'm saying? Going hard.
Yeah.
So what do you have for us today? And also, how was your holiday?
My holiday was really, really good. I got a lot of presents, so that's always nice, But this poem I wrote today was about a guy who was killed on Christmas Eve in Philly. He was actually killed on Instagram Live. 4 times in the chest, and that's kind of really what inspired my poem for today. I think the situation was just sad, and then the person who was killed was also like a Philly comedian, so his name was Woo Biddy, at least that's what we called him, and everybody was trying to like really mix up the story of what happened, trying to say like, oh, he was killed by people in Chicago because of mob ties and stuff like that. And it really bothered me. So I just wanted to like speak on it, So that's what this is about. So.
Let's get it. Let's speak on it.
I think he died. Anxiety builds as I receive the text. I'm thinking who, but at the same time, I can't help but to think that this ain't nothing new. Another black man victim to the street satisfies the public headlines. Only difference was the city gave him coverage when the city wouldn't give him coverage. Scrolling down my timeline, seeing RIP when the articles only note that he was shot and killed. If it wasn't for social media, his soul would never be revitalized. Just another brother victimized by the hatred placed forth through society. I can't express my proper hatred for our everyday news articles. Black men slaughtered daily for the unjust, yet we barely make your news. Families struggle to make ends meet just to put together a funeral service, and you can't even add in your article his GoFundMe to cover his funeral expenses, as if adding less than 100 characters is a crime. Police officers investigating the death of an unknown identity just doesn't make sense to me. Every news article refers to him as a 20-year-old shot and killed in Overbrook, as if he was just another black boy murdered whose story doesn't deserve to be told. I'm pissed off that Fox News reported his death not to honor his memory, but to highlight a white man who claims to be a social justice advocate. Although it's expected, the severity that results of our neglect has always pained me, but it also pains me to see brothers killing other brothers and fake news headlines for people to gain clout off of death. They claim he was dissing Chicago when he got mixed up in a gang war. In reality, 63rd wasn't just a block in Chicago, but also a Philly strip. He was killed on Instagram Live in between 63rd and 64th Street, so please explain to me how he was killed in their mob ties. I'm sick and tired of media making things what they're not. And what's crazy is as I wrote this poem, I probably did more investigative work than the police officers did since he got shot. I'm tired of black men being killed in vain. I'm tired of our deaths being taken for granted. I know so many people who was killed in my city alone this year that it pains me to even write this poem. What's sad is that when I was safe away at school, all my nights were restless because of its awkward silence. Now I'm home and I sleep soundly to the sound of police sirens, ambulance trucks, gunshots, and horror screams. This shouldn't be the norm, yet in some odd way, these sounds comfort me. As if quiet endings are impossible, as if I need to find comfort in violence. Why should I have to find comfort in violence? I never dream, but I always have nightmares. Nightmares are what get me through the night, because dreams don't come true, but nightmares happen every day. The vague sense of reality keeps me well rested, just to wake me up in endless sobs, walking me the next day in fear, not for me. But I have 2 nephews, and I tend to hold them very tight every time I see them. And I pray that one day they won't be subject to being one of these news headlines, that they become everything and more, that they can change the narrative, because I'm tired of walking in fear, and I'm tired of having to find comfort in nightmares. I'm tired of justice just being a word and not an action. I'm tired of having to fight, and I'm tired of this being a reality. Something has to change, and if we don't change it, then who will? Thank you.
Yes. That's real shit. I always love when people shed light on the real shit that's happening. The shit that doesn't make the news headlines, the shit that doesn't make national coverage, you know what I'm saying? The shit that like has a very real effect on our hearts and souls, but like it's so undercovered that people kind of like act as though this shit doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And then when we do our activism and we try to call attention to the violence that goes on a daily basis, everyone's looking at us like, violence? What violence? It's like, well, just take our word for it, bro. We see it every fucking day.
Yeah.
And it's violent, it's too violent, and we're tired of it. You know what I'm saying?
It also like really pains me that a lot of these people don't, like, their names aren't even mentioned. Like, they might write a news article, but like they're just a headline. They're not like telling their story. And I was young. I remember when I was younger and I used to watch the news and you heard people's story, but it's like now it's not even that, you know? Like when I was looking deeper into this specific guy's story, it was making me upset that they showed a video of his football coach speaking about him and not actually talking to a family member to discuss like who he was and everything. And that's why I was like, I'm pissed off at Fox News, because they didn't do that to honor his memory. They did that to shed light that his football coach was a social justice advocate. Like that's literally what it did. And it made me so mad to see that. And I feel like it's like, this isn't a one-time thing. This is a continuous cycle. This is something that happens every day. And I'm like personally scared for like my family members that are males, you know, like this is like happening continuously, you know, it's sad.
Yes, indeed. What do the other judges think about what we just heard?
Sorry. I really liked the line where you said that you did more research in writing your poem than the police did, because like that's probably true, that you put more effort and care into finding out the right information and what you were going to say than the police did or anyone writing some news article about it, because they, you know, to them it's just one of the same. And so I thought that was really profound that you said that, and I liked that line a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the line just talking about how you become accustomed to like not liking silence and being used to the sound of the noise of the ambulances and the sound, and how you explain it as being, you know, the sounds of violence. And I really think it talks about how like insidious some of these things are in our communities, and how like we're becoming not necessarily numb to it, but it's like our daily experience. So when like nothing's happening, it's something that's foreign to us. But I really liked how you honored his memory, how you said his name in the very beginning, and how you kind of had like calls to action for people to do better in your poem. So I really thank you for that. And I do hope that, you know, your family members can feel like your love and your passion for them and are very appreciative of you right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you for immortalizing him and also telling his story on our platform. You know what I'm saying? Now it's here forever. You feel me? His name's going to be in art forever. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Monroe, we're going to keep things going. Our next person is Maya Wright. And Maya Wright, I don't know if y'all know, but Maya Wright is dope. What's up, Maya? How was your holiday? What you got for us?
Oh, my holiday day was just splendid. This was I have custody of my niece and nephew. Well, my nephew moved out. I have custody of 2 of my nieces now. It's a crazy long story. You don't need that. But this was my first year, and they like got me stuff and was like really, really thoughtful about it. I was like, oh yes. So it was really nice.
I like that. That's what I like to hear. It always feels good when people are thinking about you in like loving ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They were the gifts. I was just like, wow, I wasn't expecting anything, but the fact that y'all thought about it.
Type shit.
Yeah.
So what you got for us today?
I have an after poem to Chev actually. So that's what I'll be doing. You ready? Okay. Being one of many African American daughters that didn't grow up with the most active father, I learned fairly quickly what my role would be. I became queen. I arrived as he left, my crown made crooked from the impact of door slamming, jawbridge jamming, turned ashes, leaving more gap between us than is present in my smile, but you probably hadn't noticed. I don't do it too often. Funny how queen is only free in effort to protect kings, destroy pawns with tongue sharper than double-edged swords, easily crown king on checkerboards if you're on my side. It's really that simple. But so is man. Their castles washed away by tears because they haven't learned not to build their house upon the sand when I'm the rock. But less man than that. So I answered to Latifah, not knowing if anyone would ever bother to learn my real name, or if queen would reach my ears if it wasn't self-proclaimed. The uncertainty of this stings, leaving my skin raised with hives, the world buzzing about the names of queens with lighter eyes than mine. I mean, gold looks good on their skin, but never in it. The novelty of having a black queen lasted all of 15 minutes. I guess you could say that's a life lesson, because life lessons be different for us. Remember to pack bobby pins to secure your crown. You wouldn't want knowledge spilled on gown before you had the chance to dance across stage. Gradually, they'll learn to leave a little more head space for these law-breaking rebel strands. Heavy as the head that rocks the curls and snaps rubber bands and no, you can't touch. I got a strict don't touch my head, won't be no shit policy. Weird how queens go missing, men crown king prematurely, on bended knee, praying for the day they get the sense to do it first, but until then, she walks with her head held high, raising it more to kiss the sun back, only ever lowering it for the same reasons. She teaches him king does not trump or take precedent over queen. I watches this be called nothing more than a mother's job. Woman's work, anticipated, needed, everything but respected. Black women are disqualified from everything. Love, protection, our own damn children. They're approved upon arrival, then taken back without receipt, without a talk with the manager, without warning. It's unwarranted, as if I asked for anything more than I made. And even less than that, I built this home of the brave. I'm the village, unable to raise children from the dead. My nephew will be no Lazarus. I teach him to be book smart. King James versus everyone. Find sanctuary in Psalms. Use your own voice, because mine only counts for 3/5 of the vote, with no guarantee of acceptance of that much. So I fold my tongue like paper swans, never letting it fly off the handle. But somehow he still calls me when he needs help. Knows better than to call me from a cell, call me from the corner, or have me calling corners, because he calls me when he's going to be late. More respectable than to just call me when he wants a plate. So he'll never have to call Tyrone. He'll always have a place at my home. That's a castle where we raise kings as long as I'm in it. And he knows not to refer to himself as one if he can't respect Black women.
Okay. I like that one. I especially like that one because me as a person, I was raised by women. You know what I'm saying? My mom was a single mom, and I had four younger sisters. I'm the oldest. You know what I'm saying? So for a long time, I would sit and I would like observe the world. And one thing I realized over time is like the world disrespects the divine feminine so much, especially the Black woman. You know what I'm saying? It's like the divine feminine is so beautiful and so luxurious, so strong, and all of this shit until it's being exhibited by the Black woman. Then all of a sudden, all respect just goes out the window.
Absolutely.
It's like, what the fuck is that? It almost makes me think that this country doesn't want us to create a whole new system,
right? Of
whole new people. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it really makes you think like this shit runs deep, but how deep does it actually run?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I like it because I'm one of those people that struggle with the relationship of queen. Like how you're saying, like, are you are you calling me a queen because you value me, or are you calling me a queen because you feel like I should be protecting a king? So I really like how you just talked about like the nuances of that and how you're related to your family. And I always thank you for being so vulnerable. Every time you come on the platform, I think that's what makes your art so dope and so relatable, is that it's just always just coming from a place of sincerity and openness and honesty. So I really liked it from the talk about the crooked crown, all the way to how you get it dressed in your home. So I really like how it came full circle. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's always so nice to hear what you have to say, because you really do have a way with words and the way that you present what your message is. Yeah, because it's one thing you have something like powerful to say, but it doesn't really mean anything unless it's delivered well. So I always like to hear what you have to bring to the table, because it's always like presented in a beautiful way.
Appreciate it.
So yeah, and I especially like speaking about your wordplay, that corner and coroner line. Could you say that again?
Yes. But somehow he still calls me when he needs help. Knows better than to call me from a cell, call me from the corner, or have me calling corners, because he called.
That is so hard. And me being a rapper, it's like when I hear shit like that, it's like, oh yeah, they thinking, this, that shit. This is heat. That's bars, bro. I'm fucking with it. So thank you so much for sharing your gifts, for sharing your soul, for sharing your light. I appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Oh, thank
of
you.
course. All right. Peace. So now we're about to have my man Symbolics, fresh out of New York, coming down to Pittsburgh virtually. You know what I'm saying? How was your holiday, bro?
It was all right, I guess, for like a pandemic. Nah, it was something.
Type shit.
Yeah, it can only be what it is,
Exactly.
Yeah.
What you got for us today?
A poem talking about what it is, I guess. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. I'm excited for this.
Let's see if this rings a bell. Because I guess I'm supposed to cheer and be excited for the New Year's. And I understand that Christmas is here. Yeah, I'm starting to understand the Grinch more and more each year as I try to smile, but my mood is dampened from the pictures. I'm pretty sure this was Brianna's favorite holiday. I'm even more annoyed because I know there's people tired of me mentioning her name, but have no problem deciding if they're on Santa's naughty list. The saying that believe America was great, where liberty splattered with slaves' blood, liberty of death. Death seems to be winning, the blessed ringing. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. You're triggered. Now imagine being black in 2020. Attempted to be positive, jingle bell, jingle bell. I heard Floyd call out for his mom. More deaths, jingle bell. Elijah was genuine down to his last seconds. Does that ring a bell? My bad. You don't know this tune. How about this? On the first day of oppression, Karen gave me a target on my back. On the second day of oppression, rednecks gave me nooses and a target on my back. On the third day of oppression, the government installed crack within the community. Rednecks handed me a noose and Karen put a target on my back. Fourth day, they chased Ahmad in cold blood, per the usual, cold-blooded, like our iron is low. They raised their iron until our screams emulates a siren, as if their iron held more value than the tag price towards our toes. Oh, that's the wrong song. Something peaceful. Christmas is here, bringing up all my anxiety fears. My people presented in caskets, mothers at the morgue unwrapping their babies, fathers gifted with the trauma of bearing their boys, sending search warrants for their daughters. But you want me to be happy when 2020 has been illustrated with a virus and Mr. 45 was the recent author of destruction, a puppet mastering our turmoil and depression. I guess that's why it's the most wonderful time of the year. But you orchestrated this hate and installed it in us as you repopulate and install racism into your children. You're a monster, heart's a empty hole. But I'm the Grinch for being fed up. My friends is hurting, I can't do shit about it. 2020 resembles these words, and I quote, stink, stunk. This year that gave anxiety a different funk. They still hanging us, bodies falling like a mistletoe, kiss of death on these silent deaths, televising our killers with no justice, just more excuses. And I wish they could rest in peace. But how can they when you remove the sheets to dress us as the villains when we already 6 feet deep? Silent night, holy night. All was calm until our peace was shadowed by destruction to be configured to make us look like animals. Do you hear what I hear? The screams, the cries. Karen, did you know that your lies on the phone can lead to my demise? How a white lie can reprise the Central 5? Do you know what it's like walking by officers and thinking I survived? And I'm supposed to celebrate. Do you know that the times we are in? Do I need to quote more songs for you to understand that we are treated like shit? We have lost someone day after day while being told our lives don't matter. So tell me, does this ring a bell? Thank you.
Yo, the way you flipped Christmas theme. Sorry, I'm eating. I've been like eating in between poems. But the way you flipped Christmas themes, bro, I feel like you always hit it right on the nose. It's like I never have to give y'all a theme. I just be like, yo, this one's the slam. I should at this point expect you to come through with a theme. I'll fuck with it. I'll fuck with that heavy, bro. Real shit. So can you run us through? So actually, no, I have a better question than what I was about to ask. Because a few episodes ago on This Week on White Supremacy, I think it was the Thanksgiving episode, we were asking what's the most racist holiday? And by listening to your poem, I would assume you think it's Christmas, but could you tell us what you think the most racist holiday is?
Technically, in a high key way, I guess I at this age now, I want to say all of them, only because I don't feel like, because racism gets stronger each day, and that's crazy to say. So I think racism is a holiday in itself. I might make that into a poem now, but yeah,
interesting.
So yeah, honestly, like I feel like there's no special holiday where I don't feel like there's some type of racism geared towards us. But I kind of fake agree with Alex though. It might be Halloween.
Huh? Why Halloween?
Because, well, you heard the poem I did for Halloween. It's almost as if my skin is a costume anyways, because I guess they always assume, especially being big and black and being in New York, I've been stopped by officers since the age of 13. So like I guess like it forces me to grow up because they mark me as something that I'm not. You see a big black person, I guess they assume I'm about to run up on someone. I should be chilling. So yeah.
I like that. So what do my judges feel? What's on your mind?
Yeah, I feel like this is the quintessential 2020 poem, like, to be honest. Like, it just, like, I think all of us are just, like, doing our best to make it through. Well, not all of us. A lot of us are doing our best to make it through the year. And, like, you talked about a lot of stuff that has happened. We're trying to survive, navigate this pandemic while losing loved ones who are close to us, while watching violence happen to people who look like us and just, like, struggling with, like, to like maintain our mental health. So I think that it was like every bar it just kept getting better. I was like, yep. I feel like we all the Grinch right now. I feel it. Like I understand the Grinch too. Right there, right there together. So I really liked your poem. And again, I hope you're doing better because I know last couple slams there was like a lot going on. So I hope you're in a better place as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all right. I'm chilling.
Type shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been saying that. I feel like this year especially, I've just felt like a big old Grinch. Like I have not been in the Christmas mood at all. It has no, like, hearing Christmas music on the radio, I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Because you hit the nail on the head with this one that I feel like a lot of times we're expected to just be, even if not like in a perfect, happy, chipper mood, to just not talk about it. Mm-hmm. And so it's just like, okay, well, don't even go there. It doesn't matter if you're not feeling well or, feeling in the holiday mood or happy or whatever. That's not the point right now. Like we have, everybody else is, so like, don't worry about it. And so, yeah, I think you did a really good job of kind of diving into that and the reasons why, I feel like a lot of people of color are we're just not feeling it this year. I mean, ever really, but especially this year, there's just been so much kind of working against us. and it's not something that other people can understand.
You said the best holiday is your birthday.
I
like it. I like it.
Yeah. Thank you all again.
You're right, of course. What else are you going to say? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just saying thank you all again. That's all. I ain't nothing else to say.
Oh yeah, of course. See, I feel like I'm the only one who had some type of holiday cheer. I feel all left out.
Yeah, man.
We need you to keep all the cheer for us.
Like waking up, it was the initial little. I was like, "Oh, it's Christmas," and immediately it went away. I was like, "Oh, well, yeah, it's Christmas." And it's crazy. I did this poem because like 2 weeks before I made this poem, my mom asked me to make a Christmas-like poem for her job. So I had to listen to the music and act like I was in the mood and stuff, and then record it with her. I was like, "Wow." Like I wasn't feeling the music at all this shit at all.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. I mean, yeah, this was a weird holiday. Like, I feel like the first of its kind for real. You know what I'm saying? Like we had to socially distance. If you don't live with your family, you had to stay away from your family. I spent Christmas alone this year. You know what I'm saying? With my girlfriend.
My family's the house that people come to. Like, so it was weird. So like when my uncle came, we had to do like drop offs. We had to give them stuff like drop. It was weird. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I feel you because like my family, we're usually throwing parties. So we throw it like starting from Christmas and a couple of days after, and it's like weird to have like an empty house. It's weird to not be cooking. It's weird to not be like running around with a checklist. But I think it's just also, but okay, now it's time to relax, get to sleep, recuperate because everybody's going to be going big next year.
Yeah.
I slept in 15 minutes this morning. That might not sound like much, but that's a huge step for me.
I hear you.
All right, Zen. But yeah, we're gonna keep this ball rolling. I appreciate you sharing, bro. That shit was dope again. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So we finally have Alex in the building. Alex the Great was supposed to be our first person, but she's here. And she's about to drop some hard shit on us. Alex, how was your holiday and what you got for us?
Can you hear me better? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Okay, I heard that. Can you hear me better than before?
Yes, for sure. For sure.
Oh, Lord. Okay, well, I'm going to just go because, I don't know. I'm sitting here in the Walmart parking lot trying to get whatever I can in connection. All right. I had already had 2 kids tugging at my coattails and just enough patience to last me through the night and a bottle of rum. I ain't know too much about love, but I know Big Mama say a young suit around the way would be stopping by when I fix myself up real nice. Ain't no harm with doing a little bit of talking. Who knows? Maybe we hit it off real good, live one of them fairy tale lives. And sure enough, he was fine. Got someone to show me what it is to be in a real partnership. Something about a year later, he pulling out a ring, changed my mind, changed my name, changed my life. Your daddy knew how to make me laugh and remember I was alive again. Sometimes us women get so involved taking care of the house, we can forget about the home and ourselves. He was always joking around, made me smile from city lights to countryside. We had a real good thing here. Not like you kids these days. Walk around twerking and jerking, sticking and getting laid. We were really in love. You know, like whenever he was away, my whole soul hurt. Not talking about that shit where he finished my sentences, but he completed my life. We didn't believe in divorce. See, in those days, love taught you to stick around. So whenever the trials got rough, we just learned how to tough it out. And there were some things I didn't like. And also some battles you ain't got to fight, but it wasn't none about him perfect. But we showed up and let God handle the rest. Sometimes it was the silence that spoke the loudest in the house. Did all the arguing for me. Would feel like I'm hitting a brick wall when he don't be listening. That was the better part of 30 years ago. My mama living out her memories through me, but she don't talk too much here lately since my daddy been gone. Sometimes it's the silence that speak the loudest in the house that does all the talking for me. She keep talking to a bunch of picture frames, but he don't be listening. Some say mama done went near about crazy. I say it's like whenever he's away, her soul hurt and half her heart stopped working. She say she don't know who she is anymore. just about choked at the thought of the word widow. I tell her not to be bothered with labels. She can be whatever she want to be. Yesterday it was nothing. Today it's a work in progress. Maybe tomorrow she'll be confident enough to just be. Till then, I got strength enough to carry us both, and we cry, and we laugh, and we joke, and we talk. Make her remember she's alive again. Same way my daddy taught me. That's it.
Really quick, can you hear us at all? Can you hear
I
us?
can hear you, but
I bet.
yeah,
Let's
but
get
it's
it.
going in.
So you were speaking on what I call the essence of the divine, you know what I'm saying? Which is super dope because you have your mom. You mentioned she was kind of trying to identify with being a widow, but you were letting her know like you're more than that. Like you can be anything. You're more than just a widow. Your potential is limitless still to this day. And I like that. I love that because that's spreading true love and positivity. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that one a lot. Could you tell us what inspired that piece?
What inspired me to write it? I mean, well, like literally after my dad passed, that, you know, just in talking to my mom, she like came out to me and one day and was like you really been like my therapist. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she was like, no, like this is like therapy for me, just talking. And I didn't even know that you know, that I could get that from one of my kids. Like, you know, just trying to help her understand that, like, that it's not even having to find a new identity, but it's who you always been, I guess. But you didn't even know it was wrapped up in being a mom and being a wife and being everything. And when you feel like your everything is gone, then you feel like you're nothing, but you're not. So yeah, I don't know.
I like that. I like that a lot because that's like the nature of what I've been doing lately. You know what I'm saying? Like I call myself a spiritual practitioner aside from music because what I really try to do is like I feel like I'm kind of like a channel for the divine. You know what I'm saying? I receive the messages and I just spread them. You know what I'm saying? And you're really spreading the message of the divine right now about like this true limitlessness that we've always contained within us. But when we get wrapped up in labels, that's when we kind of like box ourselves in. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like that's dope. Thank you. Thank you for speaking on that. What do the other judges feel?
I thought it was just really beautiful the way that, you know, you're talking about your parents' relationship, and it's amazing that you got to see that and see such a positive example of love and partnership. So I teared a little bit. That was really beautiful just to hear that. And I also like that you touched on, you know, that it's not perfect. Obviously, it wasn't like some fairy tale poem that you read, and I think that's important too. Is that, you know, we all recognize that even when everything in life is a balance, and there's beauty in the ugliness and ugly in the beauty. So I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a very neat poem, and it, like, I think anyone who's lost like a parent kind of will relate, especially when you were talking about like talking to the pictures, but they don't, like, you know, respond back. And I think that it was just like, it reminded me of like the first few months, like after my dad passed. I really, that was such a beautiful like explanation of what love and loss is and what it could be like. I think it goes to show like the relationship that you and your mom have is like really cool, that y'all have that type of conversation and how you're able to draw strength from one another. So I do thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Of course, I was sitting here saying words like you could hear me. But I just wanted to say I really, really appreciate you sharing that. And anybody I call it light work, anyone who works with the divine and like channels those messages through. So I appreciate your light work for sure. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go ahead and get this ball rolling. Thank you so much, Alex. Peace out. And next up we have my man Chev, who always does some super deep shit. So it's like I'm very interested to see what you got for us today, bro. How was your holiday?
There was a holiday?
I like that.
No, I was asleep. I've been asleep. That was my celebration this year. I went to sleep and stayed there.
That's the best form of celebration. That's self-love right there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just whenever you're ready, just go crazy.
Thank you. Dr. King once said that even if it falls your lot to be a street sweeper, go forth and sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures. Sweep streets like Beethoven composed music. Sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Be the best at whatever you are. Take pride in your work. Because depression come when ain't no pride left to take. See, 23 years ago, it felt my lot to be a nigga. 3 years ago, it felt to be a dropout. 2 years ago, it felt to be homeless. I felt a lot. I starved so much, my body turned broomstick, and cried so much, my body turned mop, till it felt my lot to be a poet. Never got to say cliched shit like my ink bleeds on page because my body couldn't spare the fluid. I slammed for food money. Sometimes in packed venues, most times in packed train cars, all times in ugly mirrors trying to see myself be good at something, and I got damn good. I felt in love with my train car stage. Some days I wanted to stand on the tracks and give it a kiss. At full speed, I Michelangelo'd a smile to my jaw that felt like graffiti. Hoping to be arrested for vandalism because I heard they served 3 squares a day in prison. I performed in only the most gentrified areas to avoid anyone I knew. Places where everybody's favorite poems be that one where the black boy dies. I couldn't tell if the fetish was white guilt or black death, but painting strange fruit the only way I knew they'd feed the starving artist. I made melanated martyrdom music to their ears, and even Beethoven knew nothing tickles the ivories like a black lace flat. A white woman hands me $1, turns to her daughter, tells her I'm the most talented bum she's ever seen. Better than the rapper she usually has to turn out, and how pretty I made all of those bodies. And I wondered if plucking those bodies from pavement to make my meal make me street sweeper, a vulture, but my thoughts were drowned out by the growl and my stomach saying, get through the poem. I turned my notebook pages back into the trees we hung from, hoping the firewood would keep me warm at night when I slept on that train. I kept my headphones in low enough to know when I wasn't alone, but loud enough to never feel like I was. They always wind up on one of them songs she don't like when a black boy dies, like move or maybe moves enough white to gentrify the neighborhood, takes all the pride he can before it runs out, hides it in the bullets because that was the only thing society will let him keep. Better you sweep them streets than lay in them. I wondered if rappers be perpetuating violence, or maybe they just wanted to survive as bad as I did. We put gun on stage hoping it'll never be drawn on us because capitalism say the only way to survive is to be better at killing niggas than we are. My stomach say get through the fucking poem before you got to start in it. My pride say stop apologizing for staying alive. Sometimes sweeping streets sound like dusting caskets. I wonder what Shakespeare wrote about when his stomach hurt. You see, the first draft of this poem was a train car kiss. It was another poem where a black boy dies, but nah, this time the one from Ugly Mirrors just trying to be good at something is the best, whatever he is, even if all that is alive. Thank you.
Thank you. Shit. Okay.
What happened?
Yeah, what did happen? There we go.
All right.
There we go.
I was
So
scared.
turn my screen off so like you can it can zoom in on you faster. So as soon as you start.
I was scared.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
So what's interesting about the poem that you just wrote, right? I think it was Monday, literally just Monday. I was in a neighborhood over called McKeesport, right? And I went to get a passport, but wasn't able to get the passport. So me and my girl were walking to the store, and we see guns drawn, a bunch of police officers, guns out, talking mad aggressively, and there's a black guy they're trying to force out of a vehicle. So I go for cover because they got their guns out. I don't know if they're about to start firing, but like I run for cover so I can watch what's happening. Because I'm really praying that this man leaves the situation with his life. And thankfully he did. You know what I'm saying? And then in that moment I realized, damn, bro, like for a split second, I didn't know if he was about to leave here alive. And that's all I really wanted him to be, was alive. I don't care who he is or what he did. It's like, I just need for him to be alive. And that's it. So that shit, like, it's crazy how it connected. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that poem so much because you also touched on like the rap industry, right? And how like And I love how you kind of like related that to the street sweeper line that you opened up with, because it's almost like they are sweeping the streets, but it's like, it makes you question, is it them or is it who's marketing the music? You know what I'm saying? It's like, are we perpetuating violence, or are they coming into the most violent communities and finding the one person who will further perpetuate that to serve their purpose? A lot of questions that make you think. You know what I'm saying? What do my judges think?
You know, deep as always, I really appreciated when you were talking like about when you're artists trying to survive, you know, changing your art and tailoring your art to certain audiences. So it's like, we know that sometimes the stories of Black trauma and Black pain get like the most empathy, and like, and it's like one of those things that like you wrestle with, because it's like the Black experience isn't just pain and trauma and all the negative things, but sometimes that's like what pays the bills. And I think that I appreciate you for bringing that up in such a like a nuanced way, because you were literally, like you said, slamming to eat. And so I really liked your poem, and of course how it like moved through like the trajectory of, like, of your life, because you know you explained that before. And so it was like really good, just like dope as always.
Yeah, touching on that as well. I don't know if you've seen the movie Sorry to Bother You, but there, you know, the scene in it where the main character is at this party and they're like, "Come on, like rap something for us." He's like, "Oh, okay," and he starts rapping, and like they're just staring at him and they're like, "What?" And it was just, you know, it's true that you kind of have to code switch with your art sometimes, and it's a shame, because, you know, you should obviously it shouldn't be that way. And I think that the bar is kind of so low sometimes, and it really obviously should not be, and it's a shame that it is, but sometimes you just have to like, just surviving is more important than thinking about the nuances of, you know, what am I doing here? Why am I here? Blah, blah, blah. So I really like that you touched on that.
Yeah, bro, that like the code switching part. So this, at the beginning of this year, BC, before Corona, right? we had this creative mornings at so Duolingo has like a office here in Pittsburgh, right? And we had a performance in this office. And I'm not gonna lie, me being from Homewood, I got some beef with Duolingo, because they don't even know, but to build their office space, so many people had to be misplaced. You know what I'm saying? And they did nothing to help these people. They did nothing to provide opportunities for these people who were already there. So while I was there, I wanted to do something that wouldn't make them mad. But I'm like, wait a minute, bro, it's a bunch of white people. They make me mad every day. So I was just like, let me drop these bars on them real quick. Let me tell them I got beef with Duolingo and I'm not scared to express it. And I picked the most targeted, like the most pointed rap that I have, called Bus Ride, which is like basically my basically me criticizing America, right? And like I'm not gonna lie, that day made me like love the smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like from that day forward, I stopped code switching. I'm like, yeah, nah, fuck that. They gonna hear what I gotta say.
Here for
it. Real shit. So what is before we move on to the very last person, I just want to hear your final thoughts on everything that was said. You as the artist.
Oh, I appreciate it as always. I always appreciate feedback, which is why this is such a unique and enjoyable space to bring your art to, as opposed to people just throwing a score at you. You actually like discuss the things that are going on. And for this piece in particular, I wanted to close out the year by closing out every poem I had done, like on the platform so far. So in September, the one where all the Black boys die. October, we get into like my life and my struggles with housing and capitalism and the sneaker poem. And then last month, the poem on just rap as an art form in general. And I wanted to just take a moment to close all of that out before moving on to 2021. Because so much of my art is just conversations. It just comes from conversations I have with people. And one of my friends was like, "Nah, rappers don't perpetuate violence. They just live it, and they tell you what they live in." And I'm like, "Yeah, we do, because we live it."
Type shit.
Because you have to find some way to take some pride in your life. You have to, or else it'll literally eat you alive. If you lived in a box from 0 to 18, you're going to have to fall in love with the box, or else there's nothing we can do for you. And I just wanted to touch those things and like just always shed a little more of my story. Maybe I'll get the guts to sell it all one day, but
type shit.
So then we just mix the life with the conversations and hope it makes sense to people, and I appreciate it when it does.
Yes, me too, because it always comes together so beautifully. So I appreciate you sharing, bro. Real shit.
Oh,
So
thanks
we're gonna
for
go
having me.
ahead. Of course. So last but not least, we have a newcomer named Imani. And I kind of want to see what you got for us. You know what I'm saying? What's good? Because you introduce yourself.
Okay.
Tell us how your holiday was, and then also tell us what you got for us.
I'm Imani. Hi, from Chicago, South Side. My holiday went very well with my small family. It was nice. Before I say my piece, I just want to do a trigger warning for mentions of sexual assault. Okay. The title of this piece is "Victim is a Dirty Word." I've been playing dress up my whole life, the obedient daughter, the diligent student, the complacent slut, but I've never played the victim. I'll never acknowledge I'm prey. I have nightmares of men dragging me into dark alleys and ripping off my clothes with their teeth. In that moment, what Imani will I be? Either way, they'll smell black bitch and I'll just be another one of those fast girls they prayed for at church. Just another one of those girls missing. Men have always scared me, but he made me scared of myself. Just another black girl taken advantage of. Why can't I take things, take my body back? When do victims ever move on and grow sharp, vicious teeth where I'm from? Boys buried their dead demons in my garden, planted their deceased potential inside me. I tried to dig and uproot their ugliness from in between my legs, but I only end up slashing my own roots in pieces. I want to learn how to rip my femininity from my chest, crush it in between my fingertips, dip myself in hydrangea so I don't smell like him. The only thing poetic about me is my oppression, my honor, a sweet, sticky brown syrup that leaves fingers tacky and gray, my body, only 3/5 full, leaving me vacant enough to be taken advantage of, my back, breaking across 13 bars of steel. I used to be a garden, the thickness of my thighs, the bed of my flowers. I'm trying to float on my own tumultuous waters. I'm tired of drowning. My body shouldn't scare me at night. I try to trace all my incomplete pieces back to my assault. Am I broken or broken in? Which molestation made me damaged goods? This story was only supposed to be a loose police report, a family secret, and now it's a performance. White people think Black trauma is art, this Black woman oppression abstract. The privilege is pity may water flowers, but the kidnapping of my being floods forests. Just another rape poem, just another hurt Black girl. My pain watered down in edges of paper. No wonder I hear a story kin to mine every year. If we don't have justice or respect, at least there's a stage to hang our innocence. My only saving grace is if my poem is better than the last victim's. I want to know what it feels like to be a predator instead of hiding like prey behind prose. Thank you.
Oh, that one. Yes, that one. I'm not going to lie. So that made me remember a time when I was living with my parents and I used to take these walks every night at like 1 or 2 in the morning. and a couple of things went through my mind. I took the walks alone, and then I took the walks with my sister, one of my sisters sometimes. But when I took the walk alone, you would think that like I would feel safe knowing that people are afraid of me at night. But ironically, I did not, because people are afraid of me at night. So one wrong move, if I'm walking behind or near someone, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that came to mind was when I walk with my sister, I can't leave my sister's side at all, especially if we're out at like 1 or 2 in the morning, because they see her as prey and me as the predator. If the predator leaves, then the prey is wide open. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy that there are people out here who think like this, but still want black people to seem like the animals. You know? And it's weird to see. It's very weird, but it's like there's so many layers and so many levels to it. You know what I'm saying? It kind of makes you wonder, like, I don't know, like, it's almost like violence is normalized in this country, kind of, you know? We see it in the movies, it's celebrated sometimes, but it's like we don't talk about how harmful that shit is. You know what I'm saying? It's normalized, but should it be normal? No one really asks that question, you know? And that's what your poem brought to my mind. What did the other judges think?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for starting off with like a trigger warning. I think that like sometimes we do forget to do that at the top of the show. I think that one, welcome to like the platform. You're just like amazing delivery. I think that your poem kind of relates the struggles that people have with sharing their stories, of like not wanting to be like just another story, but also having to like process and share like your thought process and what's going on. I think, of course, the broken and unbroken in line resonated with like a lot of folks, as well as the you want to know, like I want to know what it feels to be like the predator. I think that, you know, we forget about like the balance of power that assault brings and how it's used and wielded, and how that impacts people going forward. And so I really, really liked your words, and that line at the very end about, you know, hiding behind the prose. It was just like really brought it home. So again, thank you. It just like mind blown.
I think even just like if you had just said the title of your poem and I've been like, thank you, I would have been 100% behind it, because I think you're absolutely right that the word victim is kind of I think it's kind of demeaning to the victim, because when you think of that word, you think of just being powerless or helpless, and one moment does not define you in any way, shape, or form. And so I think that to refer to someone as what they were perhaps in one moment, as like a title for them for the rest of their life, is really taking away from that person and their integrity and their their honor. So I really liked, literally, if you had just said, this is the title of my poem, thank you very much, I would have been like, yep. So yes, and I think it did really sum up, everything that you said was just kind of giving that power back in a certain way. So thank you for that.
Thank you for all the feedback.
Of course. Could you tell us what inspired that piece?
I think the piece started off as just healing process, journaling and whatnot. And then after that, through the editing process, it was more of a critique of slam culture and women's stories, especially Black women's stories, just aren't visible or just fetishized. And how I didn't appreciate that. And just the way people talk about sexual assault victims is demeaning in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then people don't add in how Black women experience sexual assault. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for shedding light on that, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand how people victims of sexual assault deserve probably more compassion than anybody else, for real. Because it's not only did they experience this super traumatic event, but it also took so much for them to even share it in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're literally trying to hold themselves together while also creating or demanding a safe space for the world around them, and just making sure people know the story. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when they share their story, they're sharing their story out of love. The way I see it is out of love. It's like, hey, I was hurt by somebody, and I want you all to know that this hurt is like, one, came from a source that you probably know, and two, you're not exempt from it. If I wasn't exempt from it, I want you to be careful. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like they're sharing this to make sure other people are aware of what happened and what could happen. So it's like, I salute sexual assault victims. I'm a sexual assault victim myself. I don't talk about it a lot, but it's like, I know how hard it is to deal with those feelings afterwards. You know what I'm saying? That shit like will really make you question just about everything about your personality, about life, about who you can trust, all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that. Of course. So we are actually texting about our picks. It's looking like this one's a little bit close. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Not gonna lie. If we have anybody still watching, I want you to tell me who you think won.
Also, while we do this, Anise, don't you have some news? Didn't you drop some things? Or some things dropped this week?
Some things just fell out of the sky this week. Who's to say? Yes, I did actually just drop my first EP. It was demo version was on SoundCloud for a couple months, but I finally have the real version up and running on all streaming platforms. So check it out. It's called On Hold by Pearly Montague. And a big shout out to my man, Trouble NLS, the one and only, who helped me a lot bring it into reality. So thank you, Trouble, for all your work.
I almost started talking while I was muted again. I keep doing that. I actually appreciate you trusting me with that project. You know what I'm saying? That was actually fun to work on because, like, you know me, I'm not gonna lie, I low-key hate engineering, but like it makes it a lot easier when I'm able to work with people who are dope and actually know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So you did make that process a lot better. You showed me some things. I learned some shit when we was working together. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate being part of that process.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, of course.
Yes,
Of course,
indeed.
I trust you. Anybody out there, you need someone to be a sounding board, to mix your stuff, to make it just next level. You know, Trouble is the man. So I highly recommend his services. He's a great help and a good friend too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Real shit. And if y'all need some crazy vocals, Anise is your gal. You know what I'm saying? She's out here. And so could you describe your genre a little bit? Because it's like, for me, it's hard to define, and that's what makes it so like unique and so dope, you know?
Thank you. I don't like saying pop music because I personally have a negative connotation of pop music as like, you know, the same four chords on the radio, whatever. But I guess if I really had to say, it would be pop, but with more of a kind of alternative spin.
It's like alt pop kind of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like that.
It sounds good. Yeah.
You know what's interesting about pop? When you think about pop, it's like it really is short for popular, right? So it's like I would argue that hip hop is pop these days, right? Do I make a good argument? Is that a sound argument? Because hip hop is pretty popular. It's like more people want to be black these days.
Well, that's true. That is true.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. But yeah, and it's funny too because like just categorizing something as pop is kind of a cop out because it is just like, oh, this is popular. But like, 150 years ago, what was popular? Like Beethoven or whatever.
Who was black.
Well, okay, I'll take it.
You know what I'm saying? So it looks like we have our final pick. Before I name the people that we chose, I want to say thank everybody who came. Thank you to everyone who shared. Thank you for everyone who viewed. You know what I'm saying? This Next Level Slam is something that like we don't do out of necessity. This is like something fun. You know what I'm saying? It's like this is actually I actually enjoy these Next Level Slams. This doesn't feel like work at all. Like it just feels like we're coming, we're chilling. The next thing we just gotta do is get some bottles, get some Christmas tree, maybe, you know. So if I could get a drum roll, please. And we have our first place winner is Chev. Our second place winner is Imani. And our third place winner is Symbolic. Are y'all still in the studio? Hey. Gang in the building. Where's Chev?
I think this show was audio only, so I think there you go.
There we go. There we go. So congrats, y'all. How's it feel?
Oh wait, I was muted. You're
Oh,
yeah, we can hear you, bro.
oh, I know you were talking first.
But yeah, how does it feel to be here? What do y'all feel? Can y'all hear me? Am I muted?
Like,
we hear you. I
think they're shocked. They're blown away by the wind.
okay. So
nobody want to go first?
Huh? Like, nobody talking, so it's awkward. Like the fuck? Like
Symbolic, how do you feel right now?
all right, cool. I'm a little triggered because I missed her poem because I don't know what happened. I was talking and then the sound went off. Then I got scared because it's not even my computer. So I had to call my sister. I went through a lot just now.
Yet you in the same spot.
I went through a lot just now. You know, this was valid. This was fun. You know, like I said, it's crazy because I told Chef this was my favorite. That was a favorite poem tonight. He got the W, or whatever. That's cool. Sick of this nigga. Other than that, I'm thankful. And yeah, now I'm sick of this nigga. But yeah, it was fun. This is always fun. And yeah, that's what I got to say.
No, I'm bad. Hello.
What about you, Imani? You're a newcomer. How do you feel?
This was a nice experience. Thank you. I'm happy that I'm involved now. Yeah.
Thank you. What about you, Chef?
I'm just always happy to be here, man. Humble for the Rumble. It's a good time.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Well, yeah, I'm happy to have y'all. Thank you so much for making this what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm still thinking about how next month's going to go, but I think I'm actually going to put together a theme for next month. You know what I'm saying? So stay tuned for that. So y'all have a beautiful night. Everybody watching, have a beautiful night. Judges, do we have any last comments before we go?
Happy Kwanzaa if you celebrate. Happy Boxing Day if you celebrate. You know, hopefully people get a lot of free food next couple of days.
Here's my question real quick. Not that, I don't want to trigger any Canadians or British people out there, but what is Boxing Day?
Because I really don't. Do you know? From my short, like I had to research this right quick. It's like maybe like a Christmas, but only give like one gift or something.
It's like, okay, well, my family's Jamaican, like everybody, so we celebrate Boxing Day. It's the history I'm not that great on. What we do, your guy. As opposed to like the stay in nature of Christmas, Boxing Day we all go out. Like everybody, don't be in your house. I'm actually breaking rules right now. Like just immediately, just have a good time. And
I'm glad
one last time for the new year.
All right, I like that.
I thought we went.
I'm gonna read up. I'm gonna get the real history. I'm gonna come back. Yeah.
See, I thought it had to do with boxing, like
I thought
boxing. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a gift box.
Yeah,
like you take a box.
Hey, shit,
You
that's
take
hard.
a gift out.
I just want to point out how while me and Sim were doing that little tomfoolery, Imani was just completely froze. Them the people who like really got hands and just like, y'all don't even want to do this.
We did that. Everything
y'all stop it.
All right, y'all. So
few words. That's all.
Type shit.
I'm just kidding.
I feel like she's just kind of happy to be here for real. Yeah.
Yep,
I gotta-
just happy to be here.
It's crazy because I fully gotta watch this back because I missed the whole performance. I don't like
It
technology.
was dope.
It's all good. Yeah, it was definitely
The last
dope.
line was fire. I shit you not. That's when the sound came back on. I said, wow. I was like, wow. I was about to give her the W. I was like, that last line sound better than like 10 of my lines. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You know what I think it was, bro? I think her poem was so hot, your laptop overheated.
Maybe,
That
but
must be
it's
what it
just
is.
before she performed, so it knew something. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? It had a premonition, bro.
That's crazy.
It knew the fire was coming.
That's crazy to me.
I'm glad y'all enjoyed your holiday. I hope y'all enjoy the new year. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have a beautiful night. Thank you for your beautiful faces. Peace out.
Peace.